Hey guys, so I'll be calling in my friend Rajiv now, and he has been in Australia since the last 3 years. He came in as a student as well, so let's hear his journey. Come on in.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, obviously. What made you decide that you want to come to Australia?
So I did my bachelor's in industrial engineering, and then soon after my engineering in 2015 I graduated, and then I worked for like a couple of years, and then I decided I've studied anyway a more science background. I wanted a more technical qualification, so I just started to venture out into different courses in Australia and universities that were in my option. And then I chose one university, that is the Australian National University, which had like the right balance of both technical and business aspect. So which was not in many universities that were offered in India. So that's why I decided to come to Australia.
Did you just try for Australia or was it some other countries as well?
No, I just tried to Australia. I just applied for like two universities in Australia. I was really busy with work, so I just didn't go all out and just start applying everywhere. But yeah, I just had like two universities in mind, and then I got one acceptance offer. Then I just chose Australian National University.
Did you already know someone in Australia?
I knew one of our family friend who was living in Canberra, so she helped me set up. The first few days she helped me show around the city, and then she was very helpful during the first days. Yeah.
Okay. So, did you have any help from any agents or did you get any help from your friends to apply for the visas and for your college?
Uh, Not really. I didn't take any help of any agents. I just applied by myself. But when my brother was studying in the US, so he recommended this university in Australia because their US university was offering a summer program, and then he said, "Why don't you apply here?" So I just applied, and then visa process was just taken care completely by me. So I didn't. It was pretty straightforward. So I just didn't need any help of any agent.
So, do you think everyone could do it by
Oh
themselves?
yeah, definitely. You could just do it by yourself, and then you could ask someone for guidance. But it's pretty straightforward. You could do it by yourself.
Fair enough. And so, when you landed, how was the living situation like? Did you have to find a room for yourself, or did your friends help you around to find your an apartment, or how did it go?
Finding a place in Canberra was especially very hard. The first few days I crashed at a hostel, and then it was a challenge for me to get a place. But then, since I knew people who traveled with me from Bangalore, we all found a place luckily, which was a little far from the university, but we got a really good place.
And did your uni have any hostels that you could stay in?
They didn't have a hostel because they preferred undergraduates more than postgraduates.
Okay.
So they got first priority in the residential halls. But it was a challenge for postgraduates. But then now the university has committed to give accommodation to all the students by 2021 probably. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you prepare yourself before you came in here?
Oh, I was really busy with work, so I just didn't plan out much. But yeah, it was a mixed emotion. Like it was really hard to leave family and come to a different country. I've never, left my family and stayed abroad. So this was the first time, but yet I was really excited to start a new journey. And here I
Were you
am.
nervous at all?
I wouldn't say nervous. I was excited at the same time, but I felt really bad to leave family and come. But I thought it would be glamorous, but it's actually not that glamorous.
Okay, when you say it's not that glamorous, what side are you referring at?
Glamorous as in you're more independent here, you just have to do all your chores by yourself, and you know, it gives you a sense of independence, and then, but you get a lot of freedom, but at the same time, you just need to balance your, social life, your studies, and you know,
So freedom definitely came with a lot of
Oh yeah,
responsibilities.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. You're more independent here, but then you're more responsible as well.
If you look back, would you have done it any differently? Would you have stayed back in India? Or what do you think you would have done?
No, I would definitely have not stayed back. I would have, you know,
You would have done the same.
I would have done the same thing. But yeah, it was a very good opportunity for me to step out of home and then learn from different people around the world. And yeah, it was a good experience so far.
How accepting do you think Australia was? Because you obviously aren't the same as them. So, how accepting do you think it was?
More than accepting, I would say that once you're here in a foreign country, you would rather adapt to it than just accepting the fact that they're also just people. So you just have to.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't hard for me, but then yeah.
So, while in Rome, do as the Romans do?
Yeah, that's true. I follow by that principle.
Yeah. Okay, so how long was your course for?
My course was for 2 years.
Okay, did you work at all while studying?
No, not really. So my parents were supporting me throughout my education, and then they were very clear from the beginning, and they said that your priority is to study. We are going to support you till you graduate. So getting a job was not a priority, so it gave me more time to focus more on my studies and yeah, pretty much that.
How do you think the studies were compared to India?
It's quite different. There was more of research work, wherein in India the education system is completely different. I'd say here you're more, you're given more tasks and more scenarios, and you're made to think more. Wherein in India you're probably been given a book and then you just study
You
out
just
of it.
cram it up
Yeah,
pretty
you just
much
study
and
out
then
of it
vomit
and
it
then
out in the
yeah,
exam.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
But you don't get more real life examples, and you're not made to think as much as how universities make you do here. So it's more about like assignments and then self reflection, which helps you learn better and excel.
So apart from studies, what else did you think really helped you build your character?
So I was into sports, and then the university was very supportive in like promoting activities, like sports activities. So I used to play lawn tennis, and then I represented the university in various levels.
Oh wow.
And then also I was a part of very social events as well, and yeah, which was pretty fun. And we had different societies from different cultures in different countries, which was a good time to meet people from different parts of the world, and that was it. And it helped me accept and understand cultures of different people around the world, and then I made a pretty good circle of friends. And
So when you say you had a good friend circle, was it a multicultural friend circle?
oh yeah, definitely. So the second year I moved back to on campus. I was in a
Okay.
residential hall, and there was a collection of people from different ethnicities, backgrounds, and different countries. So yeah, that was a good.
So was it hard, like, being friends with people from all over the world, or, what sort of challenges did you face? Did someone have any language barriers or anything of that sort? Did you have any barriers?
Oh yeah, there was with one or two other friends, but then language was a barrier, but we would still
Or
socially.
any cultural barriers? Because, it
Uh,
can be very different.
Personally, I have not experienced any cultural barriers, but yeah.
Fair enough. And okay, if you could share what was your first job like?
So after graduation, I was looking for a full-time job, and then I decided to be independent. So I started off in the retail industry. I worked for quite a bit till I got a good job, and then I really loved to work in the retail industry to meet new people and serving new customers. Customer service was something which I was you know
Good at?
good at, so I really enjoyed it. But then till I got my first job, so till I got my proper job, which was into IT consulting,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the retail industry, and which was a pretty good learning journey.
So, alright, you came to Australia, you were independent and everything of that sort. But do you think you could have practiced the same sort of life in India?
Oh, definitely not. Like I said previously, it's not as glamorous as I thought. You're more responsible here, you're more independent. And then I could give you a proper example wherein you study in India, and then by then you graduated, and then you have campus placements, and then companies come to you and then they take interviews. But then here, you're more independent. You have to look out for a job. You have to go apply. There's nothing called as campus placement or anything. So I'd say that you are more responsible here, and then you're more independent, and then you just have to do what's best for you.
And how do you face, like, you would obviously feel lonely sometimes, maybe on, special festivals, on your birthday, missing your family. So, what motivates you to keep going and, keep staying here rather than going back to your family?
Well, you just need to accept it, and I feel I usually visit home like once a year, and that gives me a good break from the monotonous life here. And yeah, I do miss festivals, family, and friends, but that's how life is here. And the only way that I could connect with festivals is that there are many organizations here like the Indian Association and all that. So I try to attend as many events as I can, and then just relate myself to be at home, and that's how I spend most of the time.
So, do you think you've made family away from home here?
Oh yeah, definitely. My classmates are the ones that are like the second family to me, and yeah, that's about it. You just have to find the right platform.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing your experience with us, Rajiv.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Really privileged to be a part of this.
Thank you.